What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We've got the Mystery Tackle Box Elite March box. I'm going to unbox it for you guys today. I'm going to try to make it quick today, only because in about an hour I've got to leave for work. So I'm probably just going to record it right now. I'm either going to upload it tonight when I get back from work. So you'll either see it late tonight on March 10th, probably tomorrow morning, the 11th. So without further ado, we're going to get into it because I don't have that much time. I did take a sneak peek at this, so I have seen some of the baits in here. I know, I'm sorry, I could not help myself. When I went down to the mailbox, I just could not help myself. So I've seen a few of them, and to start, we have got a Lucky, is it Lucky Craft, right? Oh no, Lucky John. So an MTB exclusive, actually, a Lucky John flat crankbait. Looks like it's a 5 to 9 foot diver in, like, I wouldn't say a harsh craw color, because it's not overly bright. It's actually kind of dull, especially on the top, but the bottom actually is a good, like, fire craw color. This is awesome because anything craw colored in the spring is automatically going to be killer. I fish a ton from the bank, so 5 to 9 feet may be a little bit too deep. But you know what? I'm getting that project boat that I showed you guys a couple months ago. I'm getting that project boat to a marine mechanic in a few days. So fingers crossed, we'll actually have a boat for the spring, and we'll actually be able to get some really good use out of this thing, because as it stands, it's a little bit too deep for where I fish from the bank. Honestly, most square bills are pretty ideal. I'm fishing usually around 4 or 5 feet of water. So this may be a little deep, but like I said, hopefully we'll have the boat in the water sooner rather than later, and it will do us some good. Next, we've got some net bait Packa Slim craws. I'm gonna just get right into these. Black and blue flake color, which I don't love for the beginning of the year. Usually right after ice out, the water's pretty clear. So it's actually pretty blue on the top. There's not a lot of black. It's blue plastic along with a couple different different colored blue flakes, and then it's straight black on the bottom. So it's actually a little bit different from a black and blue flake. Most of the regular black blue flakes are just straight black, and they've got the blue flakes in them, obviously. But this is a lot bluer, so it'll probably do the same job, especially in murky water. So this is something I'll probably pull out a lot more toward the end of the season, like mid-July through the rest of the summer. Especially up at my camp, the last couple of years, we've had some pretty bad algae blooms. So the black and blue and reds and some less natural colors are a lot better for the tail end of the summer. That doesn't mean I won't give them a shot earlier in the summer. We'll just have to see. So this is one of the baits I checked out beforehand. It's a Savage Gear backlip herring. So this is what it kind of looks like. So you've got what it's advertising right here. You've got a lip, like a jerkbait lip, that pops out, and it folds in when you're casting, so you can get farther casting. And then it's hard to see, but right here on the back, you've got a little, like, spinnerbait blade. So I have no idea how you're really supposed to work this. Is it like a jerkbait and they just have the lip back here? Which, if that's the case, I don't know how well that's actually going to work, because I feel like the lip on the front is the only reason a jerkbait's going to dive. If you're supposed to work it like a big swim bait, I'm lost on that. Up here, it just says we've got 3/4 ounce size. It says it's sinking, so maybe it's not a jerkbait, because jerkbaits are usually either suspending or floating. Maybe it's supposed to be just kind of worked slowly in like a big swim bait. So I'm definitely not super knowledgeable about this guy. I feel like a lot of Savage Gear stuff is kind of, I don't want to say like obtuse, because that would imply that it's wrong, but they're really different. Like, they kind of go beyond the status quo in a lot of weird ways. So I'll definitely have to do some research on this guy, and depending on if I do that before I post this video, I may post a link to kind of how you're supposed to work this. I know that Savage Gear has a YouTube channel, so I'm imagining they'll post videos for baits like these on their channel. So I may just link a video for this bait if I can find one in the description, in case any of you guys have questions as well, because I'm certainly at a loss. I can't provide any answers. Next, we have got some more Lucky John, I guess. Some Lucky John Mccora shad tails. So they almost look like, they actually got a really interesting size. So they're 4 inches, which they look a little smaller than 4 inches, but either way, they're not quite as big as most paddle tail swim baits, I feel like. You could honestly, yeah, exactly. It's got it even advertised. It's like it almost reminds me of like a big drop shot weight, and they actually advertise drop shot stuff right there. I want to take these out real quick and just take a peek at them. Ooh, these have got a lot of scent on them, so I don't think I'm gonna get one out, because I don't want to get my hands all stinky. I guess they're not that bad. I like that color though, the yellow and purple. I'm I'm not really sure what application yellow and purple is because it's not exactly a natural color, but I feel like purple isn't exactly something that's going to stand out in murky water either, like a black and blue or a red or anything like that. But on the tail end of a spinnerbait or anything, or a chatterbait or something like that, it probably won't matter all too much. And that's probably how I'll use these. Most swim baits that I get, I just throw on the back of a blade bait. That's my go-to. Spinnerbaits are my go-to bait for pretty much anything. So that's probably how they'll get used. But I'm definitely interested to try them out. Coming up on deck, we've got some, what do we got? Some Spear Point performance hooks. We've got some 3 we've got some 3/0 EWG hooks. And they've got an interesting look about them. They're not certainly the way most hooks look. So this is what it looks like. It's like I say, it's a 3/0. This is 3/0's usually my go-to Senko size for an EWG hook. They've got this V right here on the bottom, which I'd imagine, I haven't read anything on the back yet or whatever, but I'd imagine it's supposed to just kind of trap the fish here. They're not able to kind of make their way around the hook and get some momentum to shake it. They kind of get pinned right here in the bottom of this V. Gives you a little more control over them, I would imagine, as you're trying to reel them in. V-grip technology forces the fish down into the V. Yeah, exactly. So it forces them down into this bottom V here, which holds the fish in place, delivering increased landing ratios. Yeah, exactly. So it's not exact. I feel like most EWG hooks do a decent job with this anyway, only because a lot of them will come straight here in the curl and pretty much 90-degree back up into the hook point. So I feel like a lot of them get pinned right on that corner. But I'd imagine this V probably gives you at least a little bit more control. Next, we've got Rattlin' Google Eye Swim Football Jig, 5/16 ounce. So it's actually a little lighter than a 3/8. So that's actually pretty. I feel like that's pretty light for a football jig. I feel like football jigs are usually kind of 1/2 ounce or higher, but I don't use football jigs often. I usually just use flipping jigs or I throw a Texas rig. It's been a hot minute since I used a football jig, or at least one of these swing models where the head is kind of free floating. So let me just, yeah. So that's good. So in the head, you've actually got a pretty good rattle there. I don't know if let me get up to the speaker and see. So it's going to be right over here to your right. I'm sure you can hear that. So it's actually got a pretty good rattle, but definitely something really interesting. I like that size. Anything over 1/2 ounce, I tend not to use too much because I feel like it just buries itself in the grass. And really anything below 3/8, I've always kind of considered finesse, but there's no shot I'm going to be using that as a finesse jig. Up next, we've got some more Savage Gear stuff. We've got some Savage Gear, like it says 4D craw. I'm assuming it's just kind of a play on how detailed it is because my word, are they really more detailed than any other craw. It's only a 3-inch. I bet this would honestly, I feel like cutting this tail off right here, honestly, and fishing the rest of the bait, I bet it would actually look like a pretty decent, it would look pretty good on a finesse jig, I bet. Yeah, I'm interested to see how I'll end up using these. I really like the look of them. Like I say, it's really detailed to put on the back of a jig, I feel like. I guess it doesn't really matter, it's 6-in-1. More detail certainly won't hurt anything, but I feel like to really appreciate how much detail goes into it, I feel like you would want to put it on the back of like a Texas rig or something like that, but it's kind of small for that. We'll figure it out. I don't think it'll matter too much. I think the fish will gobble that up either way. Wouldn't be a mystery tackle box anymore without some sort of Guggen product. So we've got I think this is a Sexy Shad. Yep, Sexy Shad, Guggen Squad banger, their square bill. 2 to 5 foot diver, so this is gonna work a lot better for me from the bank. I've always really liked the Sexy Shad color, both Guggen and Strike King. I know for a fact both have Sexy Shad stuff. My Strike King Sexy Shad spinnerbait is one of my favorite lures of all time. I've literally used it for years, caught like countless amounts of fish on it during the spring, summer, fall. It doesn't matter, and it's in not the best shape. It's not an ideal shape, but it's still trucking along. That Sexy Shad color is really nice. I don't think there's a whole ton to be said about Guggen Squad stuff that hasn't already been said by a million other people. It's a crankbait. It's a square bill crankbait. 3/8 ounce. That seems a little heavy for a crankbait. Does it happen to say what line it recommends? My crankbait rod right now has got 12-pound fluoro on it, or at least it's going to once the season starts. If I end up throwing this for some sort of delayed Mr. Tackle Box slam, I may end up throwing it on a spinning rod I've got set up. It's a 7-foot medium heavy with 15-pound braid. Just because it's got a little bit of a bigger size for a crankbait, I may end up throwing that on that instead. I don't think it would matter that much. I'm not a huge Guggen Squad guy, but it's clear that their stuff gets the job done. I just would rather get them in mystery tackle boxes than actually pay all the money for them. And I'm actually gonna do the last two together because from all this advertising that Karl has been doing, I think they're meant to go together. We have got a tightrope baby fireworks super jig, hand tied actually, and it's in collaboration with Ketchco. Another thing I really like about these mystery tackle boxes is they do a lot of stuff with smaller brands that I've never even heard of. Like I've never heard of Tightrope. I've heard of Savage Gear, but I don't buy their stuff. I've heard of Lucky John. Again, I don't really buy their stuff. They do a bunch with Lucky John though. I've never heard of Spear Point hooks. I've never heard of Net Bait plastics. I've never heard of Ratlin Google Eye swim jigs, but they do a ton of stuff with brands you've never heard of, which is the only reason I buy mystery tackle box. I've got way more tackle than I'll ever use, but I get these mystery tackle boxes to kind of put myself out there as far as fishing goes and try stuff that I've never even heard of or never tried. But something I have tried and I've had not great luck on, honestly, is the 10,000 Fish Sakoshi bug. What color we got here? What color? So it's like blue on one side and then like a green pumpkin watermelon on the other side, called Blue Craw. I'll give you guys a closer look at that. So it's supposed to be like a Ned rig style bait. That's what it was designed for. But they've been advertising a bunch, and I've seen it on my Instagram and stuff like that, pairing them with these finesse jigs. So I think this is going to be a really good combo. And like I said, I think they probably put these two in together just to be paired together. So if I'm going for a slam, I'm definitely tying these two on one of my finesse setups right off the rip. And looking at the colors, let's see. So let me look at the jig real quick. If it green pumpkin blue, which I love. I think green pumpkin blue is one of my favorite colors. A green pumpkin you can't beat, and then the blue just it gives it a little bit of something extra. But these Savage Gear craws, especially if you cut off the tail, would actually I think look really good with that finesse jig as well. Maybe if you cut a little bit farther, like sorry, I don't want to flip you guys off. Like down to here, so you've just got kind of got the main body. I bet that would look absolutely killer. And you've got the same color as well. That's like a blue-green pumpkin on the craw. So you're actually matching color as well as I think making a really good combo. Like looking at this right now, I actually am really excited. I think they probably meant for these two to go together, and I probably will throw them together. But this right here, actually this combo is getting me really excited. Like last year with the Pro boxes, once I was done with that, filming the unboxings, I did a giveaway. And I'm planning on doing another giveaway this year. I'm not sure how it's going to look because last year I had 6 Pro boxes that went from December through May. And this year I'm only gonna be doing 3 Elite boxes for a giveaway. So it's not going to look, if I do the same thing I did last year, pick 2 people and draw 1 random bait from each person's only going to get 3 baits, which I don't know, that seems a little not too much to me. But I will be doing a giveaway once we hit May and once I have these 3 Elite boxes unboxed. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but I'm gonna do it exactly the same way I think that I did last year. You got to be subbed. Once I do the actual giveaway video, I'll have you guys comment, and I'll draw the winner from those comments, just like last time. What I'm thinking about doing right now is just picking one of the boxes at random, one of the Elite boxes, and giving the whole box away. So it could be everything that you guys just saw. If that's what I end up doing, it could be the next box that I give away. I don't know. The way I did it last year, I feel like each person, 2 people only getting 3 baits just doesn't feel good enough to me. But come May, there will be a giveaway regardless. So if you guys are interested, like, comment, and subscribe. Keep updated on the channel. It will come eventually. I just don't know exactly what it'll look like. But that's going to do it for today. I went fishing a few days ago and caught some fish. I didn't think it was enough to make a post or to post a video on, but I did make a couple TikToks about it. I'll put a link to my TikTok down in the description if you want to check those out. TikTok is just kind of where I throw random stuff if I don't think I have enough for a video. That's nothing consistent either. But if you're interested, you can definitely follow me there. If I don't make a video, usually I'm posting stuff there. Same with my Instagram. Instagram is probably the most consistent thing I have. I'll put a link down there as well if you guys want to follow my Instagram. It's just my personal. I think what I'll probably end up deciding to do, especially if I do this giveaway here in May, once this channel hits 200 subs, I think I'll probably make a 207 Outdoors Instagram. I think it's appropriate at that point, especially where most of my personal Instagram posts are fishing related anyway. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and whatever the next video is, whether it be the next unboxing in April, whether it be another ice fishing video that I'm able to crank out for you guys before the ice gets super dangerous, It may be an open water video. There are a couple rivers right down the road. It would be more trout content, but it would be open water content. And I'd probably be able to get that out pretty quick because there are a few rivers around locally that stay open year round. I don't have to wait for them to legally open back up. And obviously it's a river, so there's no ice. Regardless, I'm droning on. I will see you guys in the next video. Later.